When I was younger, I was what many would call a scaredy cat. I would get frightened over minor things, like a closet being open while I slept, or if I heard a creak of the stairs as I entered the garage at night. However, as I aged, these fears subsided, as many do, and I've grown to not be afraid of most scary things. One of the mainstays of the horror genre is body horror, with things like corpses or pain being used to scare audiences around the world. While scary to a lot of people, I find myself unaffected. Because of this, things like haunted houses or frightening scenes in movies or television simply don't scare me and often leave me bored. This all changed, however, when I stumbled upon A Promised Neverland. The psychological horror of the show not only frightened me, but also made me think about the show for weeks after viewing. To summarize, the show follows a young girl in an orphanage who discovers, after trying to return a stuffed animal, that she is being raised to feed monsters on a farm designed to keep their minds at ease. Horrified, she learns that all the children who were adopted were really sent away to be eaten. While this would cause many to panic and possibly even go insane, she keeps it together and begins devising an escape plan, all while avoiding her caretaker's watchful eye. Many people often wonder if the people we trust most are actually working against us, and The Promised Neverland plays on this fear to its fullest by using the amazing villain Isabella to her utmost potential. What makes Isabella so scary isn't that she hates the kids or that she is a malicious monster, but it's the fact that she actually cares for the kids deeply and raises them to be slaughtered anyway. She was once a child herself in this farm and believes that the monsters that control it are not only all powerful in this world, but also that if she tried to escape, she would be killed. This causes her to make the children's lives as good as possible while also ensuring they meet their ends at the hands of the monsters. Isabella, while understandable as a character, is also the protagonist's greatest obstacle, because she wholeheartedly believes that the only way the children can have their best lives is by conforming to the unfair system she has been placed in. She actively resists the children's plans and keeps them there by force, going so far as to break one of the main characters' legs when they try to escape. The show is able to turn the tension up to 11, with characters sneaking around their ever-watchful guardian's eyes, able to be caught at any moment. This, plus the fear of the unknown, creates an atmosphere of mystery as well as fear. This environment is what sets the show apart from most modern horror. Instead of a haunted house where the characters are against some sort of supernatural force with ill-defined rules, the villains in the show are tangible human beings, which makes them scary because we know exactly what they're capable of. As the children learn more about their situation, we learn that our main character could become a caretaker like Isabella if she chose to. While this would mean she gets to live, it would also mean she would be leaving her friends and family to die, as well as having to sacrifice more children in the future to survive. To our main character, this isn't an option, and she decides to escape instead. As part of the training for these caretakers, they are required to have one child put into the system. This fact plays a huge part in the story by showing us that one of our protagonists is the son of Isabella, who, after humming the song Isabella used as a lullaby and that she learned from a friend in her orphanage, is revealed with a flashback to be her child. This horrifying revelation creates the catalyst for Isabella's eventual change of heart, when she lets the children escape at the end of the season. The psychological aspects of the show kept me guessing with each plot twist, not only making the show scarier, but also drawing me in, with a sense of what I can only describe as morbid curiosity. Never before had I been so entranced by a show's creative use of horror, and it is to this day one of my favorites. With Season 2 coming out next year, and many other shows delayed, I returned to Death Note, with this new lens to view it through. Now that I am older, I was able to see that the detective show, set in the point of view of the serial killer, used many of the same techniques as The Promised Neverland to create tension. The feeling of being able to be caught at any moment, along with the fear of death, creates a surprising blend of fear and excitement when the main character outwits his brilliant opponent. This, combined with the heavy stakes of the show, with humanity's very ideals on the line, allows the show to draw viewers in on a more emotional level. By doing this, it makes the audience actively consider the thoughts of the main character and his adversary. This, in turn, leads people to discussing the show and contesting the ideas, which generates more hype for the said show. This reason is part of why Death Note is such a successful anime. Its use of subtle horror elements is now one of my favorite parts of the show that I had initially missed on my first viewing of it. Both shows also make use of intense music, which adds to their respective atmospheres in amazing ways, from the eerie tranquility of Isabella's lullaby to the sense of urgency in Elle's theme. By using all these tools to their advantages, the shows become not only scary at times, but also captivating. These things must be balanced in order to create a good horror story. If it is scary but not earned, then people don't want to watch it. This is the reason why jump scares are so annoying to people. Most of the time they are unearned scares simply added to startle the audience. Anime is often considered a genre, but in reality it's just a style, with many genres of shows throughout it. Its horror genre can often be boring, with shows coming off as edgy or predictable. This makes shows like A Promised Neverland stick out as diamonds in the rough. Hopefully, in the future, animators and directors will learn from the techniques these shows employ, and create more thrilling movies and shows in the ever-expanding blandness that is modern horror. Experimenting with new things will not only enrich the genre, but will also bring it back to its roots in people trying new things. Just like the creators of the movies in the past experimented with practical effects to create masterpieces like Alien or An American Werewolf in London, creators now should experiment with the unknown and create never-seen ideas and concepts. Humans are very creative, and because of this, we have a great capacity to innovate, and with a little luck and a copious amount of hard work, I believe we can have our own golden age of horror in the 21st century. In fact, we are starting to see this happen, with shows like Netflix's Black Mirror experimenting with psychological horror, or YouTube's Crypt TV going back to horror's roots, with practical effects taking the star role. While the future of horror is uncertain, it has a glimmer of hope, with creative people taking the reins and moving away from what's been done before. I've been Exister, and if you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe, as I make new videos every Friday, looking at movies, television, and games with the hope of finding something deeper. If you want to add something, say your favorite horror movie, or just want to say hi, leave a comment, and I'll be sure to reply. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.